What's up, everybody at home? Welcome to another special episode of Izinja zeGame, proudly brought to you by MTN FC. Our guest today is one of the most famous players in South African football, one of the best midfielders that I've ever seen, and arguably the best of his generations. And he was a two-time PSL Footballer of the Year for Pirates, and I think for Sundowns as well. Won a lot of trophies for Sundowns and Pirates as well. I think he was an MVP also at the Imvela League. So this guy is used to winning stuff from a young age. So winning them at Pirates and Sundowns was nothing new to him. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tony, the General, the Navigator, Mr. Teko Modise. Welcome, Tona. Sfide?
How are you, sir?
No, I'm easy, son. Welcome.
No, thanks for the invite, man.
So which name do I use? Tony?
Tona is fine.
Tona.
Yeah, it's fine.
Do
It's
cool.
cool.
These people even know this? The young kids, do they even know Tony? Like when they started naming you, giving you that name, like, were you surprised? What is happening in that time?
No, the thing is like, as a footballer, you always, back in the days, nicknames were a thing, right? So when you're a footballer, you have to, at some point, have a nickname. And so I had so many nicknames, I didn't even know which one would stick, right? So when I was elected as a face of McDonald's for the 2010 World Cup, so we started doing jingles, and then we used the General. So that's the name that actually now went on to be the most famous one. But in terms of football, to the S to then how do I play? I think the Navigator was the one that was more popular on the football fans. Yeah.
Where did you started getting that when you were at Pirates? Or
At Pirates, yeah. At Pirates. I think most of the names I got them at Pirates because I think the one that's still stuck now, Don, it's the name that also, as a young player, I always had it, but it was just there on the subconscious. But the thing is, like, I think that's the name that outlasted every name.
Did you even know who Tony was at that time?
Didn't. I didn't know until I actually, I was like very concerned. I was like, okay, who is this Tony? And then I started doing my due diligence and doing my research, and I realized that it is an Italian player, and I started trying to figure out as to then what type of a player he was, and now it made me actually appreciate the name more. Yeah.
6 years since you stopped playing, bro. How you been finding life?
It's been that long, eh?
6 years,
but it doesn't feel like 6 years.
It's been 6 years.
It doesn't feel like 6 years, to be honest with you. Like, I'm one of the most fortunate ones in the sense that because then I retired mentally. In the beginning of a season of my last season. I just won a trophy, MTN8 actually. I just won an MTN8. And then I remember
Cape Town City, right?
Cape Town City, yeah. So we went out to celebrate, and I bumped into Tabo September, who is a Cheaper United coach now.
Yeah.
So Tabo was one of the ambassadors that actually walked in with a trophy. So I asked him, like, Tabo, so what do you do? Because Tabo, when I played with Tabo at SuperSport, was a very quiet guy. And then he's like, no, I'm actually doing better now than I was when I was actually playing. That stuck with me. And then I remember making a choice immediately, right? And because also MTN8 was the last trophy that, I think it was a trophy that was eluding me all my career. So it was the only trophy that I haven't won.
No way, serious?
In Africa, yeah. So at the time I was like, okay, now that I've won every trophy, what's next? And I think I decided to retire while celebrating in the club. And I remember calling my manager at the time. I was like, hey, dude. He was like, hey, congratulations. I'm like, I'm retiring end of the season. And then he didn't believe me. And then he started trying to talk me out. I said, it's fine. We'll have this conversation later. And then we never had. And actually, I remember the feeling after saying that I retired. And my body started retiring now because I said it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, now my body now, I feel like when I'm going to training now, it feels like work. I'm tired. I'm taking forever to recover. It's because I said to my mind,
waking up in the morning is difficult.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult. And yeah, I also grateful in the sense that I retired on my own terms. I didn't retire because people were trying to kick me out. Because I remember even Cape Town City wanted to still sign me. Because Benny was my coach at the time. Because he still wanted to sign me. It was like, nah, I don't want to play anymore. And then they were like, okay, come being a coach. I was like, no, I don't want to coach anymore. So I'm glad that I retired on my own terms, actually.
So you could feel like the love of the game somehow. That's not the love of the game, but you were not the same anymore.
Yeah, because I feel like I've accomplished everything.
Yeah.
Right? And because I know the journey that took me to that accomplishment, I don't think I had it in me again. I didn't think that I had another drive to take me to the next level, because what's next? I've won everything with the clubs that I played for. I've won every trophy. And then what trophy do I need?
Yeah,
Even individual trophies, I won them all. So
Yeah.
what trophy do I need? And from that point, I was like, but there's nothing else to play.
Were you looking at the financial side of it? Like now,
No.
you didn't even think about it. You were like, you know what, I'm done.
You know-
I don't know if I've got enough money. I don't know this and that, but I just don't want to do this anymore.
I'm going to tell you something that I normally don't talk about. You
Yeah.
know, in all the teams that I played for, every team that I played for, I've never negotiated a salary. Never. I've never played football for money. So Orlando Pirates, when I signed for Orlando Pirates, I wanted to play for the team. I only knew as student how much I'm earning come end of the month, right? I signed for Sundowns, the same thing, because I was trying to survive, because I had issues, moving from Orlando Pirates to Sundowns. Cape Town City, they were like, we can't afford you. I'm like, okay, but I'm still coming, regardless. Because I wanted to fall in love with the game again. Cape Town City, like, for me, Cape Town City saved my life, because I think I was drowning. I felt like in Joburg, like I was suffocating,
Yeah.
and I was getting into a depression mode. And you look at now, when I'm in Sundowns, I've got everything. I'm winning everything. I'm in the podium every season. You've got cars, you've got houses, but I was still depressed, right? And I felt like if I don't escape Joburg, something bad is going to happen, because in my mind, I'm getting exposed to things that I shouldn't be exposed to. And then my fear was the one thing that I was like, okay, I need to make some sort of adjustments or changes. And I tried with adjustments, but nothing. So with adjustments, like, okay, maybe let me buy a house with a swimming pool, but I can't swim still. So what am I buying a house with a swimming pool for? So I'm like, okay, I need to move. And I remember one day I was watching football. I think it was on Friday. Cape Town City was playing, and I saw the faces on Cape Town City players. So happy. I was like, I need that happiness back. And then that's the decision that I made. I'm leaving Sundowns. Even at Sundowns, when I left, it was chaos. They didn't want me to leave. And imagine taking the risk of playing for Mamelodi Sundowns. You're winning everything. You're one of the highest paid players in the league, and you actually going to Cape Town City to start earning what you were getting as a bonus at Sundowns.
Aha.
So the financial, from the finance point of view, it was daunting. I was scared, but it was. I felt like it was a life and death situation for me. So Cape Town City really, really saved my life. And I always tell John committees that you guys saved my life. I don't know if Cape Town City didn't take me, I don't know if I'll still be here, honestly.
So you believe that song, P. Diddy and Puffy, like more money, more problems? You see, and we always think, if I get R1 million, I'll be okay. I want to be a millionaire, but we don't literally like think maybe ask God to give me the strength to deal with that million once I get it.
True, man. The thing is, like, because I'm a guy that grew up with less, right?
Yeah.
And with less is, once you get to a position of acquiring stuff, you want more, because you still want to fill. There's a void that you want to fill. And I always wanted to belong. I always wanted to be maybe larger than life. Maybe thinking that maybe if I have to acquire that position, maybe I'll feel better about myself. But then again, you start getting money, it still doesn't fill the void. You start getting cars, you start getting all these material things, but it still doesn't fill the void. So for me, I never had an issue with money.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Because it was never the drive for me,
Yeah.
but it was the success that was a problem. Because with success comes with tags, and we sometimes been given names as footballers, like you're a superstar, you're a role model, not understanding what comes with being a role model. Responsibility that no one actually sits you down and tell you the nitty-gritties of
how to deal with
how to deal with that. And I had to deal with that for the longest time. And that actually, changed my personality. And I was never the same. Like, so when the thought of retirement came, I was like, I need to take over of my life.
Let me do what I want, what Teko wants to do.
What Teko wants to do. Because I've been doing what everybody wanted.
Oh, yes.
Like, I felt like it's my opportunity now to get out of the slavery.
Yeah.
And because everybody's been owning my name, like there's an opportunity for me to own my name and do whatever that I want. And bear in mind, I had no plan. It's not like when I was retiring, like I'm gonna do one, two. No, I had no plan.
Yeah.
I said I just want to retire and see what happens. And because I had this faith in me, because I'm one person that always I always bet on myself. So I had this faith in me. I said, I've respected the game so much. I've given my entire life to football. At some point, football will give me back. And that's exactly what it did.
Let's jump straight into your journey of football, Donas. Yeah. I mean, as a boy that was born in Meadowlands, not DK.
Yeah,
DK after. Yeah. So, I mean, Donas, when did the love of football start? Like when Kukas go Meadowlands. I mean, I grew up in Meadowlands, but I never knew what do you call this? School of excellence.
Yeah.
And back in the days, Champions League. And nobody, because my family knew nothing about those things.
Yeah.
Right? When I, as a young kid, go Meadowlands, that love of football, where did it start?
For me, it was a fluke. It started by default because at the time I was growing, I was just staying with my dad, so I didn't know my mother's side of the family, right? So with my dad was okay. So now after school, what do I do? So look at all the other kids are playing football, right? So I get into football just to pass time and all that stuff, only to realize that I'm actually good. So I remember even my time at Gukas, they'll come in and say, like, you actually play like your dad. As I think I was 8 or 7 at the time, right? So now team owners started coming to my house to try and ask my dad to actually start playing for teams, organized football now. So I remember once those guys left, I got a whipping because my dad didn't know that I was playing football.
Why?
Yeah. I don't know. I think something happened with him with football, so he didn't want me to play football, but he never had a conversation with me regarding that. So I think from that whipping, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this even behind your back. So I started playing football, and also for me, it became an escape. As a child, I don't think I had a happy childhood. So the only time I was happy was behind chasing the round ball, behind those 4 lines. That was my happiest moment.
So Paps was a good player. Did you see him play or you had
Never. I heard about him. I really, really heard about him. I think the story is, the legend says, when Max Mapunyane was scouted, people that were there to scout, they were supposed to scout my dad, but they actually took Max Mapunyane.
So it was a Lucas Hatebe and cheaper Masinga situation.
Exactly. Yeah. So from that, but it's weird because he's the guy also that took me to the stadium. The first time I went to the stadium to actually watch a football match, he took me there. So he made me fall in love with the game, but he didn't want me to play it. So it was kind of weird. Yeah. Because I remember even after the first time I went to the stadium, because he was a huge Kaizer Chiefs fan, he made me remember all those Kaizer Chiefs names. So we'll come back in a taxi, he'll be asking me questions about the players. Who was wearing number 22, I have to say. So, so it was so weird because he made me fall in love with the game, but he didn't want me to play. So I guess because of that also, when you're a kid, you look at Kukas, we all grow up Kukas, everybody's playing football in the street, everybody's doing something. Yeah. We encourage as kids to go out and play.
Yeah.
So I was playing football and I end up being good but also, that's why I'm saying, like, for me, it was like by fluke because I really, really never liked football like that.
Yeah.
But once I realized that I was good, it became a passion. I became obsessed with it. So I started watching football, reading articles, practicing signatures as a young kid.
Dude, like, how old are you then? For real?
Yeah, when I was probably 12. Because the thing is, like, I never really, really had an opportunity to be a kid. That's the worst thing. Because when I was 8, my dad, like I said, like I was just growing up with my dad. So when I was 8, my dad kicked me out of the house. Right. So now I became a street kid for like 2 months. Yeah.
That dude was crazy.
Yeah, started
sorry. Excuse me, but your Pops was crazy, brother.
I know
he's no longer here, but he's still rest in peace.
No, he was nuts. He was nuts.
What?
He was nuts. So he kicked me out. So I became a street kid for like 2 months or so. So that's the first time now I started knowing my mom's side of the family. And then they had to, take me off the streets. My first taste of KFC, bro, was in the dustbin.
Teko what? What?
Do you know Florida Park? Do you know Florida
Park?
Yeah. So Florida Park, people will be there, picnic. Yeah. So we'll go there as kids and then we wait for them to throw stuff in the bin. Yeah, that was my first time actually eating KFC. It was from the bin.
No waste. Now makes sense why the mentality and the hard work and just the hustle. And you always you are able to rebrand yourself. Like, we see players just going down and they never come back.
Yeah.
And you is just something else. Like, you just always find a way to rebrand yourself.
It's because I spent it half of my life being down there. So being down, it's not a new thing for me. It's something that I can still survive being, at the low, because I was at the low most of my life.
Football heroes?
My football heroes.
Yeah.
I mean, Doctor made me feel like it's possible. Like Dr. Kumalo made me feel like it's possible. And it was one of those players that after a game you watch Doctor play, you go out as a kid, you're actually trying to emulate him. Yeah. And because also there were stories also go kasi that there was a guy by Misa Debsa. They forced Doctor to juggle with an orange. Then I asked Doctor one day.
That was like a Nelly Tsotsi, by the way. He was a thug.
Yeah, he was a thug. But I asked Doctor at some point. I asked. So the privilege of football. So I actually had an opportunity to meet my hero and actually work with him, with Doctor. So I really asked him the other day. I said, Doc, so did that thing actually happen? He's like, no, it was not an orange. It was a tennis ball. But they forced him to juggle it so that the guy could actually see whether he was a star or not. But it's just that Doctor made me really feel like it's possible. And also, how he made me feel, I was like, if I can feel this way about this guy that I don't know, that I watch on TV, I want to really make other people feel like that.
As a 10-year-old, 8-year-old, let's say 12, I don't know, which age did you start realizing, I'm better than Jost, I'm better than Zovila, I'm better than, I can't do it. I'm better than, I mean, at what age did you see yourself and be like, no, I'm 14. Better than this guy?
At 14, I knew I was good. I knew that I was really, really good at 14. But the problem is because still at 14, I'm staying with
your grandmother.
Dude, my life story will take 16 hours.
I gotta hear this. No, we got time.
We got time.
We got time, bro. Let's talk. So
let me give you this.
Yeah.
So at 8, my dad kicks me out. I became a street kid, right? Come back. Now I start staying with my family, or my mom's side of the family.
Okay.
And then my mom was moving around a lot. And where my siblings stay, my brother and my sister, was my great-grandmother's house, right? So she didn't want me there, right? So my mom actually came back again and took me out. So now I started moving around with my mom. So I started being introduced to all the stepdads, right? So, and then with that happening, my mom actually started seeing a change in me. As a boy, you start reacting now.
Yeah.
My mom started seeing a change in me, I think around 12, 13. And then my mom actually wrote, because there was a team that I was playing for in Deep Kloof at the time. I think at the time there was a squatter camp, and I think there still is. There's a squatter camp just behind Baragwana. They used to call it Mtswaledi. You won't see it when you drive by.
Is it 14? Behind Baragwana.
Behind Baragwana. Yeah, there's a squatter camp there. So we used to stay there. So my mom, because I was playing for a team in Deep Kloof. So my mom, I don't know how she knew about the team. She wrote a letter, but that's something that I've actually found out later. She wrote a letter to the team owner to say, hey man, please keep my son for like 2 weeks or so. I'm trying to find a place. I'll come back and fetch him. And then I stayed there for like 7 years. My mom never showed up for 7 years. So I stayed with this guy. So now staying with this guy, you must understand, here's the thing. Staying with this guy now, he has a team. So now I'm forced to be a captain, a general manager. I'm doing all these things.
Kid manager, you watching the kids.
Yeah. I'm doing all these
those
things.
type of things.
Yeah. And I still have to go to school. Him as well, at some point, I think I was 15 at the time. And you look 15 at the time, you look at Tso Vilagazi living, Dikhamma Balani living. So people are asking, but if you are talented, why are you still in the hood? But I also hated trials. So I didn't want to go to trials. And then I remember, because he was so tired of their conversation, okay, when am I going to make money with you? And then he's like, I remember vividly, on one Wednesday, he came through, he's like, when you come back from school, you need to pack your bags and leave. Yeah.
What is up with you? Like, everybody's just trying to get rid of you,
That's
dog.
the thing, dog. That's the thing.
What? Everybody's just chasing you away.
So I left. Yeah, so I left. So when I leave now, you must understand, I can't go back. I don't have a place to go home.
Yeah. So
now I go to this guy that used to like help me with Chalatia Kiri to go to school. So I have this conversation with him. I'm like, my guy, I've got this situation. It's like, no, come through. I'll take you in. Then he took me in. But at that place, now they're selling alcohol. So now I'm forced now to be, now I'm selling alcohol as a 15, 17-year-old, 16-year-old. So after school, I need to, stay at home and sell alcohol, because they're selling alcohol. Yeah. I need to at least play a part in this, Yeah,
because about Tokomel.
Yeah. So therefore, even on weekends when my peers are going out to do certain things, I can't. I need to wait for a moment to see if it's not busy so I can do. So now my football now started suffering a little bit, because on weekends, on places where they sell alcohol, become busy.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Fridays, Saturdays, and whatever.
Yeah.
You don't get to go play.
Yeah.
And you were playing with DK at that time.
Got DK, yeah.
I know Kasile, mo grounding. I know that field, like, there's a lot of good players that come.
Yeah, goes on 4.
Goes on 4.
Yeah.
When you're 17, 18 years old, I was like, Kasi. Which players were you playing with in the same team that you were playing for? And what team was that?
I was because I was at the time I was staying Zone 6.
Yeah.
So I was Zone 6 had never really had good players, right? Honestly, never really had.
Whoa, repeat that.
Zone 6 is divided by 2. Zone 6 Yamazulu, now Zone 6 Yamachanga. So I was in the Zone 6 Yamachanga. We never really had good players. The good players were on the Zone 6 on the other Zone 6. Yamazulu. So when you play tournaments, we had the zone. You play against your Zone 2, Kibotso, you play against your Zone 4, Brixie, you play against all the zones. Zone 6 never really made it that far because we never really had good players.
Yeah.
But it's just that it was, even the schools that I attended in high school, I never really attended the schools that were good in football. I didn't want to because I remember even people like go to Madibani, you'll have an opportunity. I never wanted to. Yeah. And I think the thing is like, I think I liked maybe it was a subconscious thing. I think I liked working my way there. I didn't want to take any shortcuts. Like I really liked working with people that I really wanted to work because I was a hard worker as a kid. I was trained. You saw the way, if you saw me training as a 14, 15-year-old, you'd saw I was playing professional. Like, dude, I would train like crazy. But because I think at the time I was just preparing myself to be ready. And the worst thing that actually happened when I was a kid, being a street kid, being all that stuff, it's a feeling that leaves. But the worst thing that happened for me was, I remember there was a sponsor that came through. They wanted to select players from Deep Blue to go and actually represent South Africa in England. And then the team that I was playing for, they actually came, probably they took like 6 or 7 players. And then I had to be interviewed to speak about my feelings that my teammates are leaving. And then they forced me to juggle the ball. Like, Bill, we heard that you're talented, juggle. And then it's like, how do you feel that your friends are leaving? That was the most saddest thing that ever happened
watching
to me.
Like, all your peers. Like,
yeah. And I know that was better than them, right? But I didn't get an opportunity. But here's the thing, though. I'm the only one that made it.
Snap.
I'm the only one.
For that group of those guys that went to England, that were
all the guys,
they were better than you.
All the guys that I played against in Deep Kloof, all the guys I played against in Orlando, I have never met one of them in the PSL. None.
Besides So.
I never played with So. I never even played against So.
Well, you used to watch him?
Yeah, we used to watch So. I mean, So was good at an early age. Everybody knew how good So was. Just like the Khamabalan, everybody knew how good it was. Because goal casing, we all knew who we all know who's good. Yeah,
and you were that kid as well, like,
yeah. But my thing's like, when people speak about me, they always speak about, there's that kid that we don't know where he stays. Yeah, that thing. Yeah, because I never had a foundation. Nobody knew where I was coming from. So I was always like a black sheep in every group that I was in.
So I'm gonna hit you up with the name, right?
Sure.
Steve Mguni.
Yeah.
Does it ring the bell?
Yeah. He's the person that actually, you know what happened with the late Steve Mguni? He came to my house, right? On a Saturday. Yo, guys, he changed my life. On a Saturday, he comes through. I'm busy, packing the bottles for beer there. I'm trying to sell. There's a kumbi outside with players. Then Steve says, please come and help us play. We're playing in Tembisa, we're playing against Tembisa 11. But Ria Stars is play after that. We're playing catching raisers. It's like, I don't want to play. I didn't want to play. I didn't want to go play.
You a problem, bro.
No, but I didn't want to go play. I mean,
the
thing's like, dude, like in my entire life, people have lied so much. So I didn't want to play. It's like, but it's an opportunity for you to be scouted. I'm like, I'm good. So he had to actually walk in and speak to this guy, which is called Bra Ace, that I was staying with. Then Bra Ace is like, no, it's fine. The Shebin guy.
Yeah.
Bra Ace is like, no, you're fine, you can go. When I went, we went to Tembisa and then I played the first 20 minutes. I got substituted. I was so mad, just for the fact that, I didn't want to come here, number one. Number two, I get substituted in 20 minutes. Why am I here? Only to find out that the person that actually substituted me was Chico Twala, because he was the co-owner of Ria Stars. So Chico calls me, he sits me down and he asks me all this, it's like an interview, asks me all these questions and said, no, the reason why I substituted you, I want you to play in the first team. He's playing at 3. So now here I am, skinny boy, very dry skin. I think I'm 17, 16, 17 at the time.
Yeah.
So I get to this dressing room with all these guys that I watched on TV, right? Ria Stars, Ulaki Likhwati, Chose with Tapelo Liao, all these guys. Sempem and all them.
You played with Sempem,
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
That's why I say I'm like, this guy is a dinosaur. Like,
So that's the game that actually changed my life. And then after I played 45 minutes with the first team, it was a Saturday, and then Sunday Chico came to the Shebeen because and then he spoke to them. He told them that he's going to sign me for Ria Stars. Monday Chico came to our high school, and then from that Monday I left.
The Chico Twala came to your high school.
Yeah, came to my high school. It was a pandemonium at high school, but I left. That's the day that I left. I never came back.
Because Katseba back in the days like Lacey Nisi on Tuana no Jadi.
There's a scope.
Have that. No,
Thank you, sir.
One of those, bro. Let's have one of those. But before that's what like your life story into like let's jump into like Champions League. As you know, now I saw you on TV like doing like the Champions League, and I know like one of your teams, your favorite teams, it's not doing well.
We're not doing well.
And then it's out. But I know you love two of them.
Yeah.
Barcelona and like Man City.
Yeah.
Yesterday I watched Barcelona against Dortmund.
Yeah.
They nearly got a shock of their life.
Yeah.
And then also there's another game where PSG were playing.
They also nearly got the shock of their lives as well.
Yeah. So how like how you seeing these games going? Obviously, like those ones, are you happy with like how they turned out?
Look, I think for me the new format is like a short winter blanket for me, because then you have so many games to play as a team. So you have your defending champion, this is Real Madrid. They had to qualify at the latter stage for them to actually come back into this game. And then you're exposed to games that supposedly need to be semi-final or finals earlier than normal, right? But then also what it does is like it gives opportunities to teams like Aston Villa to be in the quarterfinals and semi-finals.
Yeah,
right?
They surprised you yesterday.
Yeah. So for me, it's like I feel sorry for the players because there's more games. But for a viewer, for a football fan like me, I mean, it's fantastic. So you look at Barcelona, they've been doing well this season, but also you look at the amount of games that they played for them to get to this position. So you start asking yourself, if it does happen, they go to the final, will they be having all the top players fit to be able to play? Because at some point, as much as we are fans, we're looking at these footballers, we're like, yeah, I wanted to see him in the final, but we forget that they're human beings. You get injury, you get loss of form, sometimes you also get mental fatigue. And we know that in football, we don't speak about the mental side of the game. Right?
That I understand. But the fitness, how many games did you play? Like sometimes, like
fitness level will be there, but also you must understand your body will tell you something else and your mind tells you something else.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like when you play football with no confidence.
Yeah.
Right? You're fit, but your mind can't comprehend what your body wants.
We've seen a lot of players.
Yes. So it's that type of a thing. But the Champions League last night, I think it was dope. In a sense that it became a movie, it became shocking, it became everything. So you have a PSG team that has been struggling to actually trying to win this Champions League. They had a player which is Mbappe, and then after Mbappe left, it seems like a team that just flipped the page, right?
Yeah.
They became better, they signed more players, and you look at also like yesterday, like we were talking about it. You look at the age group of those players, 20, 27-year-old, the oldest guy that was actually started last night. It's Dembele, is 27. The rest is 24, 22, 20, 19.
Who's the boy that plays on the left? Also from I like the player. He's all over the place. He plays more like
He comes from Napoli. Come from Napoli.
What's his name again? What a player!
It's a very difficult surname to pronounce.
Yeah. What country is he from?
Georgia.
In the Georgian team. Yeah. Crazy player, bro.
So they do have the team. So they feel like they can go all the way out. But also you have Aston Villa that was playing at home. The fans came and played the party. And then second, they have your Rashford. Second half of the game.
They would have won like their chances. I think they let themselves down, bro. You gotta admit to that.
Yeah, of course. I mean PSG has one of the best goalkeepers. I think he made save that actually, kept PSG alive.
Yeah.
Right. And I think with that, overall, overall, you like, okay, PSG deserves to win because it's a game of two legs. But also you look at Barcelona. Barcelona were so lethargic, Malbani. They look tired. And then you look at Borussia Dortmund.
When they killing the teams, like you're like, Barcelona.
Yeah,
but yesterday Dortmund nearly had them. And
but Barcelona in 15 days, they played 5 games. In 15 days.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? You're playing 5, and then you look at under the side, Real Madrid played how many games? less.
So, but fair to win with Lays, all you gotta do is go grab a pack of Lays, scan the code right here, and you stand a chance of winning massive prizes. Up for grabs are Take a Lot vouchers, a brand new flat screen TV, tickets to the UCL final, and your next moment starts with a pack of Lays. Buy, scan, and stand a chance to win. No Lays, no game. You end up like, going to not even Ria Stars, like City Pillars. It was City Pillars, or did you play somewhere else before that?
Yeah.
When obviously Tate Chico scouted you, had obviously came. I don't know what team was Ria Stars then.
Yeah.
But what happened to that after that?
So what happened is, like, now I'm at Ria Stars. Ria Stars, come the season, when the season ends, I think I played like 8 games. Come the season, end of the season, that's when the league chopped the team to 16. There were 18 teams at the time, and Ria Stars were one of the teams that were chopped. So now they selling players with Tapelo, Liao, all those players like Ilhuati, they're moving. I remember getting a call from Ria saying, Ajax will sign you, but that never happened. So the players that never really got an opportunity to move, they actually went to Petersburg Pillars at the time. And it's a team that we played many friendlies with them. So it was...
Oh, okay. They knew who you were.
Yeah, they knew who I was. Yeah. But also my clearance was also on the other side. So I didn't know. So I get a call from my teammates. I'm like, hey, Faith, where are you? Because we started preseason. I'm like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Like, no, but your clearance is this side. Like, I don't know. So they say, no, the owner will call you. So the owner calls me. Bear in mind, the Ria Stars was earning 2,000. After tax, it was 850. Right? So the owner calls me, Mr. Mongo calls me, and then he says to me, Fit, to come, man, we have a clearance this side. You have to play for us. We want to win the league when I come to the PSL. That was a project that I got excited about. I was like, okay, I didn't have a team at the time. I was like, okay, I'll come through. And then he puts money in my account. For the first time in my life, now I've got more than 5,000 in my account.
How much did you get, Dora?
I'm coming to that. So we get the after 2 days of my arrival, we playing a friendly, right? And in that team, they had Roger Futumba, the late Sheiks Kungwani, they had Joe Fire Maselela, you have Sam Pam, you have all the superstars, right? The former
City Pillars.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So those are the guys I've been doing preseason. So they play first in the first half. So I possibly had like one training session. So I'm playing in the second half. In the second half, I changed everything out, right? So now after playing that second half, it was the first time actually going out of the pitch with kids wanting to take pictures, right? So it was
first time happening to me.
Yeah, first time happening to me. And then on Monday, they call me into the office. I'm like, hey, Faith, we need to negotiate the contract. Like, okay, cool. I get to the office, and then they say to me, how much you want to earn? I said, no. You guys give me an offer. So like, okay, cool. You going to be the second
Hold up, bro. How old are you then?
I'm 19 at the time.
You're negotiating your own contract.
Yeah. So they saying to me, you're going to be the second highest paid player in the team. I'm like, okay. It's like, we're giving Sempem 14 and a half, so we're going to give you 14.
Yo, from 2,500?
No, from 850. Because you must understand, after tax, you can't say it's 2,000 because it doesn't come to be 2,000.
From what?
From
8 lipa?
Yeah, from 8 lipa to 14.
And this is outside Maranko Shebini Ihlala Kumkuku. By then.
No, but I'm saying like now I'm saying Kolimpopo now.
Kolimpopo, yeah. Oh, you're Kolimpopo, you clap hours and whatever. But I mean, you don't know this type of money,
dude.
dog.
I was never. You know where I was staying? I was staying at the lodge. I stayed at the lodge my entire career at that club. I never paid for rent. They bought me 2 cars.
Huh?
They bought me 2 cars. I stayed at the lodge.
Whoa. Yeah?
Yeah, they bought me 2 cars.
What cars were these?
The first car that I had was a Tez, and then they bought the second year they bought me a Polo.
You owned those cars or they owned it?
No, I owned those cars. I never paid rent. I was staying at the lodge.
The 14 away, yeah,
and then it was hard cash. Yeah. Started buying clothes. I mean, I had no responsibility. I'll buy clothes and all that stuff. And sometimes when sometimes when the payment is delayed, I'll still be able to give other guys as well.
That's
so
crazy.
We can live.
And we're gonna talk about that, like, what hey, my managers are disturbing me here.
They're busy giving you notes.
I'm gonna chuck these guys out. So, dude, like, so the love of clothes, it's always been there. Like,
Yeah,
always
but I couldn't
been that
afford
kid.
again.
Oh,
So, yeah, I couldn't afford. So now when I have access to money, so I have a car. Was driving Galena, so I'll come to Joburg whenever we're free. I'll come to Joburg and actually buy clothes and go back. Because then I can't come to Joburg and go home. I've got no home.
Yeah.
So I'll come to Joburg, buy clothes and go back.
He's got no home.
Yeah,
But
off season, I had no place to go. When players are going home at off season, I've got no place to go. Yeah, so I had friends. I remember I had a friend that was staying Hammarskraal in Pretoria. So off season, I'll go and stay at his place. I've got no home to go.
CDP lets you stay there for like 4 seasons.
Yeah, I overstayed actually.
At one point, you become the most valuable player.
Yeah.
So you winning stuff started there.
Yeah.
Basically, like as the most, valuable player for CDP. Like you got Boss and Pam, you got all this other, all these big players, and this 19-year-old comes in.
Changed
3 years later. Was it 4 years later? 3 years later when you won that?
It was 3 years later. The thing is like because Mongo was the team owner, spent so much money in trying to get promotion, overpaying all those players, and then he changed the team the second season, and then he started building a team around me.
Yeah.
The reason why I stayed longer there, it was the first time in my life I had a father figure. Do you understand what I'm saying?
So, what's his name again?
Robson Mongwe.
You still talk to him, or is he still?
No, I don't know. No, I haven't spoken. I haven't. I mean, it's been a long time. Yeah. But for the first, but I do speak to his son often as well.
Yeah.
So it was the first time that I had a father figure, and I had a person that I wanted to make him proud, right? So I was playing my heart out. So even when offers were coming, Dynamos, Celtics, your Leopards, they were still offering me the same money that Robson Mongo was giving me. But the nicest part about my last season there, I actually went to the office in the preseason. I was like, guys, this is my last season. I'm gonna sign 2 years.
How old are you?
That
24, 23?
Yeah, that time I'm 23, 24. I'm like, guys, this is my last season. But I'm gonna sign 2 years so that you guys make money off me, right? And then because I knew that I'm ready for the PSL. So we tried again to get promotion. We lost in the playoffs. But here's something that happened that was crazy. We are playing which is now the Nedbank Cup, but back then it was ABSA.
Yeah.
We playing Kaizer Chiefs at FNB Stadium.
Yeah.
We come to play Kaizer Chiefs. Within 20-25 minutes, we are 2-0 up and I scored a brace. So that changes my dynamics.
This young man,
So it changes everything, right?
Yeah,
when the season ended, I won Football of the Year in NFD.
Yeah.
Right?
MVP.
Yeah, I get the MVP award. And then after that, I remember seeing in the newspaper, after that, all the 16 teams want to sign me. So I went to the most of them. I spoke to everybody individually.
Because I didn't have, so you've always had that business mind from a young age.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, now you must understand, or I can't be emotional. My decisions are life altering, right? So I can't be excited about everything. I need to make sure that whatever decision that I make, it will be sustainable, right? So now I'm speaking to everybody individually. Like now I'm more matured because, like I said, I'd never had an opportunity to be a kid.
Yeah.
So now I'm speaking to Orlando Pirates, speaking to the late Bra Screamer, speaking to everybody individually. Then what changed was Coach Pito calls me, even he says, do you know where Santin is? I'm like, I don't know where Santin is, man. Like he calls me, I didn't know where Santin was, fit. I didn't have the money to go to Santin, you know?
Yeah.
So he calls me in and like, okay, come through. Then he directs me where he was. And then I get there. And then out of everyone that I spoke to, Pito started coaching me. Like we're sitting at the restaurant, he's telling me where I'm going to play. He's not telling me that I want you to come and play for my team. He started coaching me. And I knew that at that time, I knew from that table that I want to play for SuperSport because he saw me in his plans. Other ones are like, yeah, you're still young, but we'll fit. He said, I want you to play here.
So the other ones are like, we're still going to build you. You knew what they were.
I was ready. I mean, I'm Football of the Year on the other side. What do you want to build?
So you were not even scared to go to Pirates or Chiefs. You were like, I don't care who plays there. So you had that mentality from young age.
Because in every opportunity that I had, it was not given. I had to earn it. So But if you take me to Orlando Pirates with the late gifts and all that stuff, with Cheese Boy and I was gonna work. I was gonna play because I've got the work ethic that most players don't have.
You decided to go to SuperSport.
Yeah.
You spent 2001, I think.
No, it was 06 at SuperSport. 06, 07,
Yeah.
SuperSport. I played one season and then
One season, yeah.
Then they chased me away.
Yeah.
They chased me away.
Again, like
SuperSport chased me away.
You used to this, like, being chased away. Now suddenly, What happened? Let's hear the story. What happened, though?
So at SuperSport, we play one season. So we end of the season, we go to Australia. We're playing this friendly with Australian teams. Coach Gavin Hunt is the new coach now. We're playing. So at overseas, it was my first time playing overseas, right? So overseas, around 80th minute, 82nd minute, they announced the man of the match, right? And the speakers there. Yeah. So I was announced man of the match. That time we are 4-1 down, but I'm the man of the match.
What? Yeah. So there are those ones, but it happens once in a while.
Yeah.
So you were that.
I was that.
Yeah.
So after that we have a gala dinner because it's whatever the friendly was. So we have a gala dinner. So one of the directors of SuperSport said something that never said well with me. Like how one becomes man of the match in a game like this. I wonder the people that chose man of the match, why me? Something like that.
Yeah.
And I remember
who's saying that? Who's asking that question?
One of the SuperSport directors as well, right? So I remember going to the room after that. I was sharing the room with Teko Modise. I knew then that I don't want to play for SuperSport again, right? And when we came back, we went to Limpopo, play all these off-season tournaments and friendlies and all that stuff. But one thing that I still respect Gavin Hunt for, he called me in. He said to me, "Where do you want to play? In what position you want to play?" I said, "Why, coach, do you ask me? Because you're the one that needs to make those choices." He said, "There's too many players like you in this team. But if there is an offer, you can go." He's still my friend even today. Because he was the first coach that became honest to me. Yeah. And then from there, I was like, okay, but I didn't want to leave SuperSport because all my friends are there. Yuki, Pakaka, Suso, Mashangu. So all these other players are there. Katlego Mashiho, my friends, Kilampela, all my friends are there. But I didn't want to leave. But I had to leave.
So I just hate you mentioning a whole lot of players, and these are the most players ended up representing South Africa at the 2010 World Cup.
Yeah,
like about 4 or 5 players at that team.
Yeah, SuperSport we had a great team.
It's crazy, right? Like
we had a great team.
So you guys were like obviously like set up for like big things from a young age without you guys even knowing it.
The nicest part was at SuperSport. Like I always knew that I was one of the matured players. But at SuperSport, you get there, because all of us were in the same age group. The guys were so matured. You listen to Paz speak. He speaks about the 2010 World Cup. He wants to see himself there. You had Mpela speaks. He speak about that. You have Mashiko speak. You speak about that. So we all had the same goal and the same drive.
2006,
2007 at the
years,
time. Yeah,
3 years.
Yeah.
Before that,
yeah. So we speak about those things, and the nicest thing, like we all the same group. I mean, we're attracted to the same girls. We're driving the same cars.
Yeah.
I mean, we dress the same. So we buddies.
Yeah.
So it is easy then to for the ambitions to rub off and to other guys as well. So when I left, I felt like I'm leaving part of my family behind, but also knowing that I've moved my entire life. Moving was never a problem. To go and make new friends was never an issue for me. So I had to move.
I'm gonna send you back a bit. Remember your first PSL game against Wits?
Yeah, at Red Stars, yeah. Sishiko Stadium, it was hot. I couldn't even breathe.
How was it, dog? Like it was
tough.
For a boy that grew up having nothing.
It was tough because then the challenges are people need to understand I never played for any development side. So playing in a grass, I probably maybe as a young player, maybe I played like 4 times, right? So my first professional game, it's in the grass, right? It's heavy because it's no longer training now. It's a game.
Yeah.
It's a little bit heavy and it's hot and it's a professional game. So there's cameras. So it was a live game.
Yeah.
So I struggled a little bit, but I played 80 minutes. So I started cramping and all that stuff. So it was tough. It was one of those games that made me realize that, okay, now I'm in the PSL. So,
you're playing against, remember the old Vets?
Yeah.
How was that?
No, it was horrible. No, the ball was always in the lines, man. It was horrible.
People went like, the panichi.
Yeah, so it was tough.
Big boys.
Kicked. Yeah, it was tough.
Like I disappeared everywhere.
Yeah, I disappeared in the game. It was tough, man. It was really, really tough. But it was one of those situations, like it's either you sink or swim.
Considering, like, your achievements more PSL, in your journey. We spoke about it earlier. Like I think most people see the end goal.
Yeah.
Now, for me, that's just an intro of your life and like what you went through. A lot of people now will start realizing why Teko is the way he is today.
True.
Why Teko played the way he played at Pirates, at Sundowns, because you had that like the craziest foundation.
Yeah.
But you didn't let it break you.
No, I couldn't let my circumstances define my journey. I used that to fuel me to become successful. And also like I always because at an early age my life forced me to analyze people, to analyze situations, right? So I knew that I'm playing either against or my teammates. I know their weaknesses and their strengths.
Yeah.
And I know we might have some sort of a similar backgrounds as footballers, but I knew that I come from the worst. But I never carried myself. I never looked like my problems. So people will be like, people who want to compete. Ne? And then now I always told them, even whether we're speaking jokingly, like, guys, now you can compete with me in terms of family and clothes, what, but none of you guys will compete with me on the pitch. Because that's where I want to compete. Anything else, I don't care.
Whoa. So literally the arrogance of you knowing that
I know I was good.
Can never touch me.
No,
so you like the mentality of Mayweather when he's like, I'm gonna whip you.
Yeah.
So you had that mentality and be like, yo, dude, I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna mess you up.
Yeah, like and the things like, in COVID, like we started watching that documentary of Michael Jordan. And I started seeing a lot of elements that he was speaking of, but I was doing them without even realizing. So when if I can read an article and they start comparing me to Josta, the day we meet Josta, it's fire. The day we meet, there's a lot of guys that I played with in my era, and then they try to compete. They're trying to put them in the same realm as me. I was like, there's no way. So you'll never have that man of the match if I'm around. You'll never do anything if I'm around. And that's the arrogance that I had. That's why like a lot of people when I was still playing, they said I had a lot of arrogance. It's because I knew that if I'm not good at this, I'm one of the most competitive players I have ever met. I want off the pitch. I don't care.
No, even off the pitch you like that, don't I?
No, I'm not competitive.
Yo, whatever. I know you. So when are you like slightly going to go ground on you, like you're gonna prove it? But I know even going like you, that you want to.
I have to be successful. Yeah. The things like I know that I have to be successful because if I don't succeed, I've got no plan B.
After SuperSport, why Pirates? Why not Chiefs?
I didn't choose to go to Pirates. Pirates, you don't choose to go to Pirates. You get called. When you get called in, you can't say no, my friend.
You're summoned.
I was summoned to Pirates. I'm like, hey, don't go to training tomorrow. Come to Auckland Park. You sign here. I didn't even know how much I was going to earn.
Who's this? Who called you? Where did you get the call from?
I got the call from my manager at the time. I started working with Jasmine at the time. So I get a call on Monday evening. They're saying, please come to Parktown. I didn't even know where Parktown is. They directed me. I go there. They say, don't go to training. I get there. I get to Pirates offices. That's when I realized it's Pirates offices. Get there, meet Dr. Chairman, Ivan Koza. Sorry. I meet Ivan Koza. He tells me about the story. Yeah. He told me the story of Orlando Pirates, why Orlando Pirates is Orlando Pirates, why it's important to play for Orlando Pirates. And it was an easy decision, but it wasn't because I'm there to say no. I was just there like, okay, there's an opportunity for me to play for a big team. I could have played for Chiefs a little bit earlier. Yeah, but they I don't know. I don't know what happened.
What happened?
I think Bobby can tell the story a little bit better because Bobby called me after the first season of me playing in Mvela. Bobby called me personally, said, I want you to come and play for Chiefs. I said, I'm ready whenever you are. And I waited for 4 years.
Never came through.
Never came through. So that's why I started disliking Chiefs.
Because they're like, I waited for you guys. You never came. Now I'm gonna prove it to you.
It's like being in a relationship. It's like you want this goal. You speak into this goal. You go out on a date, do this goal. And then it's like, I'm not too sure. Then you find somebody else who want to prove it. I'm like, okay, I'll show you that I was a better person. I knew, dude, like I knew that number 10 Jizz was waiting for me at Chiefs. I knew I was going to do better things with it. So imagine my performance at the Orlando Pirates and put it on Kaizer Chiefs. I wanted to play. Listen, the first team that I got accustomed to, the first team that I was introduced to as a kid was Kaizer Chiefs. So I knew everything about Kaizer Chiefs. My idol played for Kaizer Chiefs. I wanted to play for Kaizer Chiefs. I didn't care how much money I was going to get, but I wanted to play for Kaizer Chiefs. But now because you didn't give me an opportunity to actually, play for you guys. And it's not like there was a point where I was expensive to buy. No, SuperSport is getting rid of me. And I had an opportunity to play for Sundowns. I have an opportunity, okay, Pirates came through first. But I'm just saying, if Chiefs came through within the same period as Pirates, I was going to go to Chiefs. But then when I got to Pirates, because the love that, Ivan Koza gave me the first time I met him.
How's that guy, bro?
It's dope, man. I mean, the thing is like with Ivan Koza is there's a lot of stuff that he does. He doesn't want credit for. He literally changed my life, right? So he made me who I am today by just giving opportunity. And not just that, like I remember he reminded me of what City Pillars was to me. So he would call me into the office. He says to me many a time, he says, do you know how talented you are? So I'm like, okay, I just want to know where this is going. It's like, I'm giving you a responsibility. That time I'm not even the captain, bro. I'm just there for 2 months. I've been here for 2 months. I'm struggling to adjust to this culture, the Minyana, He says, you are a very special player and your responsibility and your duties in this team is to make sure that the fans get entertained, but also we get results. It doesn't matter who plays. I don't care who you're playing with. Your job is to make sure that we win, right? So now when I go to the training, when I start shouting at the players, you give me the ball, players don't understand that I've got a bigger responsibility than you.
You shouting?
I wasn't shouting and giving you instructions. Players will be mad at me that I'm shouting for the ball. No, give me the ball. I know what to do with the ball. But the things like those are things now we praise. We praise now those things, right? So I was so ahead of my time. Players didn't understand. They thought I think that I'm better than them. No, I want you to make. I want
the game changer.
Better. I want you to make.
If
you're better, you making me better. You understand? So that's the thing. But also also the biggest challenge, my guy, I want to play in the World Cup. You just playing for tracksuits and fame. I want to play in the World Cup. Right? And also the person that actually pays us gave me the responsibility to make sure that the team wins.
You don't know.
And also, I'm one of the most fortunate because then there's fans that actually buy tickets specifically to come watch me play.
So Teko came with how many fans?
I don't know, bro. Like
a lot, right?
A lot. And that's a responsibility that most players actually crack under. Because it's you can't get used to that.
Do you see that happening now in the game today where they sign a player?
No, there's very few.
That comes with like 20,000 fans or like 30,000 fans.
Yeah, now definitely really Mfokeng is one of those players. Definitely Timbazwan is one of those players. It's very few, man.
Who you blaming for that? For not seeing more of a Relibogile and Bochabalala, Boteko in the field? Is it the people that are buying?
No, not the people that are buying. I might say something that's very controversial. The thing is like players are not competing on the pitch where they're supposed to now. Now you're getting fame based on non-football activities. I had to be famous because of the talent, not because of I was dressed well. No, it was talent. So you get known by the country because of the talent. Now you get known because of the exposure, right? So you have DDC players, which has done so good for South African football, but you're on TV when you're 16, 17 already.
Which we never had.
Yeah. So you're getting profiled a little bit sooner without being talented, but you're getting profiled based on potential. So now we have a lot of players in the PSL that has potential, but they profiled already. So they're accessible. So for us fans, we're looking forward to that weekend because we're not accessible to them. So they're waiting for the weekend to I'm going to watch Don, I'm going to watch Josta. Because during the week you don't see us. So now I can take my phone and Papa, I can access you now. I can see what your life looks like. You
said something important. You said you'll always be grateful to Pirates for giving you an opportunity.
Yeah.
For changing your life.
Yeah, they did.
But also you understood it was your responsibility to pay them back.
Yeah. And I tried.
Do you see most of these players now today having an opportunity to play for Chiefs, Sundowns, and they don't see how grateful they are or like how lucky they are?
I can tell you a player now that I know for sure that he plays to give back Pirates what Pirates gave to him. Makaula.
Oof.
Makaula doesn't have the talent that it's nice in the eye. It doesn't have the talent that we can go out of the game and speak about, but he has the presence that when he's not there, we'll actually see that it's not there.
See what you say.
You know what I'm saying? So he knows we speak about him at the age that he is. He knows very well that he was playing for another team at the age that he is. He wouldn't be playing.
Hard boy.
So Paris changed his life. So he
see how he plays, right?
Yeah. That's why I'm saying that there's very few players like that. Very
that boy,
few.
like, he goes out there, he's putting his life on the
Just
line.
that now you bump into players, they don't even care whether they're playing or not. They're just happy that they're getting salary. They can go to Tempo and have a good time. They can go there. They can go to Gucci and buy a nice shoe. They don't care whether they play or not. So for us, for you to actually wear that, people will tell you, you can't wear Gucci without playing. Why are you wearing Gucci? Why are you wearing Valentino? You're not even playing.
Yeah.
You know?
So you used to say that? Why are you driving a BM?
Why are you driving a BM without playing?
Just fell out like
Just fell out because you bought a
BM
BM and you don't even play.
now.
Yeah. So you had to earn your stripes. So now you don't earn your stripes.
Oh, yeah.
So now you earn your stripe as you go. Now, before you had to earn your stripes.
My personality would be saying, go with no disrespect to people, like, fuck this guy. What the fuck does he think he is?
Yeah.
Why shouldn't I be driving this car?
Of course.
But I understand now what you say.
I fought a lot with him based on that.
Oh.
Look, dude, if there's a coach, if there's a personality, not say a coach, if there's a personality that we clashed because we've got similarity, it was Peter. We clashed so much, either cars, either clothes. Dude, he used to find me because my pants were sagging all the time.
Yeah, that was you then.
Yeah,
when you were young, that was you.
What Yamal is doing now, it was me. So my pants used to sag all the time. So you'll find me with that. My car had a bigger sound system. You'll find me for that. You'll find me for everything. And at the time, I was like, this guy hates me, right? And it came on to Sundowns as well. We started being successful. I'm buying a Porsche, he's buying a Porsche. Like, okay, that we competed. So we used to fight a lot.
That competition I was talking about.
So we used to fight a lot. Yeah. But at some point, he was trying to be a father figure in my life. He knew my struggles. And then because my walls were so high, I wasn't letting anybody in. Because at the end of the day, I knew that if I let you in, at some point, you're going to leave. So you're going to make me rely on you and then you leave. Because it's been happening all my entire life. So he's clashed a lot. And when we parted ways, right? I retired. Now there's some sort of sense of maturity that comes in. You'd swear that we never clashed the way we're so cool today. And
yeah.
And then
so like now you only see it now because you're older now.
Yeah, and he gives me props. He say he's surprised that I never became a coach, but he says that he's so proud of the work that I've been doing, the way that I carried myself, the things that I'm, like the way that life has turned out for me. And I think maybe at the time that was his biggest fear because you must understand, I was the guy that wanted to belong all the time. So I'll come to training with guys in the car. We're like, no, you can't come with friends in the training. This is your work. And I'll come like, I was one of those players that, you can only manage me on the pitch. Outside the pitch, let me be. And that was a problem. And Peter used to fight me about that.
So guys, that was part 1. And speaking of which, remember to check out the show's descriptions to find out how you can win with Lace. And maybe even stand a chance of watching the UEFA Champions League final in Munich.